All right, guys. Let me see what we got on the agenda right now.
We got something on there. Got a whole lot of something.
Okay.
Where's this?
Now, where we left off on with that other clip that I had posted,
Yes, sir.
we ooh, let me turn this
I
back
just
up
knew he was asleep,
actually.
but we ain't.
All right. Now, where we left off last time, right,
Yep.
was we were at the end of the clip. I had got up, went to the bathroom, but when I came back, we had ended up talking about like things they could do um with a bunch of games they had in the past, right?
So older
As an
IPs, like
example,
what
yeah,
they could.
older IPs, right? As an example, like in the
Okay.
clip, we were talking about PlayStation All Stars, right? And everything
Yeah.
they could do with that game, and how they're low key kind of fumbling, but not bringing that motherfucker back because they could easily just put in any like they have a lot of IPs they can use now, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Um, with and then on top of that, we were also saying that they don't have that stupid ass restriction that fucking Nintendo does with Smash, right? If they want to put an anime character, they can just do that.
That's also true. You can license anybody. I mean, fucking see Fortnite doing any and everything with
Right.
everybody's IP.
Right.
As long as you're willing to fork out money to whoever would, I mean, and we know like in terms of gaming, fucking Sony is on top right now. So I would assume they have the money. Of course, they don't have the money Microsoft has because that's Microsoft.
Right.
But we also know that Microsoft don't do shit with the money they have except just throw it away,
Right.
essentially.
Right. Bro, have you seen that everybody's trying to say like they might become third party?
Yeah, that's like a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But yeah, it's looking bleak over there. Xbox is about to join Sega and the rest of the third parties that used to be gaming consoles, which is unfortunate.
Bro,
Uh,
I don't know if they'll become third party. To be honest with you, I don't think they will.
I really hope they don't. And I know
Yeah.
people are just like, oh well, that's terrible. Why would you want them to not? What? But bro, no. PlayStation have a monopoly on anything is not good for consumers because we
Right.
are going to be fucked up. Y'all see how they did with the goddamn yearly subscription? Just raised it and was just like, you're
Raised
not
it
finna do nothing
randomly.
about it. Random as hell, no warnings. There was
A
no
hundred
insider
and
leaks that it was
thirty-six
going up.
dollars for the
Yeah, they
highest tier.
and they're just like, yeah, bro. This is what you're gonna pay now, and there's no way around this. So suck it.
He said, "Boo hoo,
and
nigga."
literally. So yeah,
I'm about to mute that.
that's just pretty bad. I don't want them to get out of I don't want them to get out of the console space,
Right.
but I do want them to try. I genuinely want them to
I agree.
try,
I
but
agree. I
Phil
think,
Spencer is at the head and he's gonna be on some other shit.
yeah.
But
Be honest with you, bro. I don't like the fucking. I don't like the route that he's taking Xbox right now. Like,
no,
yeah,
he's
Game
fucking Xbox
Pass,
up, bro. He's
Game
fucking them
Pass
up.
is great. I'm sure it is, but like, I
That's
really don't
cool, but
think
for how long? It's not sustainable.
I
It's
don't I
cool,
don't
but for how long? That's always been the conversation.
I don't think Game Pass should be the route they went down. They were doing good in the Xbox 360 days. I don't think they really going back and looking at why they succeeded in that area. And then on top of that, they really just don't know how to manage their own studios.
Yeah, no, they don't. They
Like
just do
they have a lot of talent over
whatever.
there, but they don't know how to make them work. Right? Halo Infinite never should have flopped like that.
That was a crazy flop. That was probably the craziest flop of the generation.
Right.
But we getting too far off into that. We
Right.
need to be
Right.
talking
Right. Right.
about
Right.
what PlayStation is
Right.
doing
Right. Right.
because that's the whole like really that's what's gonna make or break the next couple of years. And just as PlayStation All Stars goes, that's really it's really a conundrum when you
Right.
think about it. How many more like solidified icons we have on PlayStation side, and they have not done anything with the IP. But I haven't looked at sales. I haven't looked at any other metrics of success when it comes to a game or how that performed.
Right.
So I could be just like blindly being like, hey, I would love for PlayStation to have their own version of Smash, which is really what uh, my want for this shit stems from. Because like us having a PlayStation version of Smash and then them being able to have all these goddamn characters that they've accrued since the PS3,
Right.
it's like, bro, we have so many characters at this point, so many more stages. Like they even own Bungie, like they can put Destiny characters in
They
there. It's
could.
like
They
there's
could.
so there's so many people that could work on different levels, but it's like, um is
Is
that
that
something that people want? Because
right? Is
we've
that what's gonna
seen,
sell?
yeah, is that what's
The,
gonna sell? Because at the
the
end of the day,
thing
this shit's a
is,
business.
bro, like they don't have to put every single one of their IPs in the game, right? They just got to put the big ones in there, right?
Yeah,
So
they don't. But my
obviously,
thing is, let
obviously,
me
but
say
if
this
you
real quick.
put, oh, go ahead.
I just want to say this. They may or may not see this, but I've been looking at this. We've seen how Multiverses performed, and everybody thought that shit was gonna be a smash hit. WB owns a lot of shit. You can really put anybody in that game. And that shit flopped. They closed servers. Same shit with the Nickelodeon thing. It's like, you know how many people granted,
Well,
they didn't probably give them to the best studios, but that's not the point. The
I was
point is the people
to be
that play
fair.
those kinds of games didn't gravitate towards them and stick with it long enough.
Well, to be fair with Multiverses, bro, I don't think that game ever had actually released. That game was just in beta the entire time. I don't think it's
It
not
didn't
out
even
yet.
make it out of. Yeah, but the fact that it didn't make it out of beta makes it even more of a stronger argument.
Well, I mean, it was a beta, you know. It doesn't mean the game was close to releasing. It just means it was a beta.
The only thing I can see is that, like, I don't know. I don't know what happened with the studios. I'm not gonna pretend to act like I
Right, right,
know.
right.
It's just one of those things where I thought a certain community would gravitate towards it, and they did not. And it's
Well,
just like,
now,
well, you can't be mad at them.
see, now the thing with that is that those games weren't really that good, you know. I mean,
Yeah, and
I'm
that's
not
why I
gonna lie
say
to you.
you
Like, a
probably
lot
you
of them
didn't give
kind
them
of just got
give them
carried
the
by.
subpar studios.
Yeah, they kind of got carried by nostalgia factor, right? The Nickelodeon
Absolutely.
game came
The
out, and
Nickelodeon
then
one
literally 3 days
absolutely
later,
got carried.
nigga, 3 days later, bro, nobody talked about it anymore. You know,
Yeah, it was
nobody.
out, and I don't know if that's like a part of the reason. And I know they're like why Smash works on a casual level because like these are all characters, like it plays into nostalgia, but it also has good gameplay.
Mhm.
And then there's ultimates, and it's like you break the Smash Ball, you get your ultimate. Shit could just go left at any point in time. With PlayStation All Stars, I distinctly recall that being like one of the biggest things that people were upset about is
Yeah, there's
how
no other way to kill somebody outside of just using the supers on them. And then some supers
exactly
were like they were so
some
bad
supers
to
are
where,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and it's just like,
um,
man, what could you have done
with
differently?
with PlayStation All Stars, right? I think that it's gonna low key get carried by nostalgia as well. But at the same time, you could still have people playing the game, you know, at a I ain't gonna say at a decent level, but at a decent, you know, rate by, you know, like adding all those other characters they can pull from, right?
Yeah,
Shit, like we said last time, bro. There's nothing stopping them from putting Cloud or Sephiroth in the game, right?
nothing at
There's
all.
nothing,
No,
nothing
because
stopping them from
they're
putting
already like they're so tight with Square Enix at this
right.
point.
There's nothing stopping them
Might as well
from
just buy them,
putting
but that's a different
Clive,
conversation.
Lightning, none of them. A Snake, he can get put in the game. They can put Raiden back in the game. There's
They can
nothing
put
stopping
everybody.
put
They can put the
Dante back
Destiny
in the
people.
game. There's nothing stopping them from running these characters up, right? Now
Yeah,
the thing is with that type of game, the community that surrounds that game, they don't want to play anything else. They're just playing Smash, right?
yeah,
And then
that's
on
true.
top of that, anytime you see this game, it's always going to be, oh, this is just a knockoff Smash. Oh, it's just a knockoff Smash. This is a knockoff Smash, right?
I would
That's
just
all
say,
it's going
like,
to
bro,
be.
realistically, make something that's so good that it's like, regardless of the knockoff Smash allegations, that people still play it.
Right.
Like, even if it's like, obviously, you shouldn't be relying on it solely. Obviously, you need to have good gameplay and
Right, right.
things of that nature. But even if it's just like nostalgia that pulls people in at first, at least have good gameplay on the back end to keep them around.
Right,
Because the
right.
only reason why people play Smash is because there's no other contender. Realistically, the only thing that you have outside of Smash that plays kind of like Smash is Brawlhalla.
Right, right. And
And that's the
nobody's
only
really
thing that's
fucking
been
with that
around.
game like that, to be
No,
honest with you.
like they have their own thing, like their own that community. Because I really was like playing ranked for a while in Brawlhalla, and like trying to get up in ranks and shit. And that community is like, it's a strong community, but it's small and it's niche.
Right, right.
And like they fuck with their game, and they probably do explore and go on to other games and shit like that. But we wouldn't know nothing about it.
Right,
Same
right.
thing with Smash, and also. This is a great time. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is a fantastic time. Fuck a great time. It's like an amazing time for them to push the PlayStation All Stars envelope, because we all know the creator of the shit said this is the last Smash, bro.
Right,
That's
right.
it. Ultimate is it. You're not getting another one. And
Right.
granted, people did play fucking Melee for like 15, 20 years,
But
and they
that's
probably will
melee.
do the same. Yeah, but I'm saying they probably will still do the same thing with Ultimate. But my thing is, since they know they're not getting another one, this is the perfect time to go in and be like, hey, we got something that's like Smash if you are a PlayStation person, or even if you're not. But most people are, because it's just like most people at one point, most gamers at least had a PlayStation at some point in their gaming career.
You're gonna recognize at least one of these characters. Right.
Exactly. There's no way you don't know who Kratos is. It's almost impossible.
Right.
Like Sly Cooper, you know who that is.
Nah, people might not
Sackboy,
know who he is. People are gonna know who he is.
I don't believe that,
No,
bro.
no,
Not,
bro.
nobody from the
Hey,
90s.
hey, bro.
It's only people who
Look,
were born after the 90s.
hey,
All
look.
90s kids remember Sly Cooper, and,
And
that's
I
not
and
even
I
a
hear you,
question.
but you gotta look at it, bro. Those people are the same people, like the people after the '90s are still playing the games, but they're still making it the market now.
No,
But
yeah, they're
as a matter of fact,
absolutely in the
no.
market.
As a matter of fact, bro, a few days ago, RDC World they played PlayStation All Stars, right?
Mm.
They were playing it on stream, and I'm looking at
Oh,
I'm
shit.
looking at the chat,
Holy shit.
and one of them was playing Sly Cooper, and somebody said, "Who's the raccoon?"
Whoa, that's
Yeah, bro, like
crazy.
Sly Cooper is not a big juggernaut like it used to be
I
because they
know, but
haven't
it's
done
just
anything
like,
with it.
if you give a fuck, and that's true, and that's on PlayStation's part. It's like they got to figure out what's good for their brand. They need to pull some of these people to the forefront, bro. Joel and Ellie and Joel, Ellie,
I don't want to see John
Kratos.
Elliott in places also, bro. I don't.
No, I mean, look, I don't either. But we both know it's gonna happen because Nathan Drake was in the first one. We know it's
Right.
gonna happen. Let's just be completely real.
You're right.
But it's like Joel, Ellie, Kratos, and who's the other person? And Alloy. It's like, bro, we don't. They can't carry PlayStation forever, bro.
See, the thing is, Aloy herself, she's not even. She's not. They're trying to make her out to be like a big juggernaut of PlayStation right now, but she's not. All right. They're trying to make it seem that way, but she's not, bro. Horizon Forbidden West didn't really go that crazy. Zero Dawn was cool, but that was because it was the first game. This one,
Yeah, but
they really folded with her, right? And then on top of that, you had that entire discourse about her face and shit. Like a lot of that shit,
yeah,
like
they're
that shit,
just
that
making
shit.
characters
Yeah,
ugly just for the sake of
but
making them ugly.
no, the thing is, bro, she's not ugly in game.
No,
she's
and
not.
in the game, it's like it's just
It
bad
was literally
renders
just
or-
one frame out of the reveal trailer that people ran with. And that's the only frame you'll ever see. You'll never see any screenshots from in-game of Horizon, bro, because she looks good in-game.
Yeah, and okay, and so I hear what you're saying with that. It's like, but she absolutely would be in the game. But
Yeah,
my
she'd be in
whole
the game,
thing
yeah.
is that they can't run with those mascots forever, bro. We need to bring the OGs back to like I don't want to say like
Right.
we need to return to form,
Or at least
but it's
show
just like,
that you remember that you have them.
exactly, yeah, because it's like you gotta appeal to more people than just who's playing games now. You gotta appeal to the people who's been playing games. You gotta appeal to the people who just started playing games. So it's just
Right,
like,
right.
well, somebody who just got PS5 had no money, or just was like, hey, I already got this game downloaded on my game on my system. What the hell is this? And they played Astro's
Astro's Playroom.
well, yeah, Astro's Playroom, and it's just like, okay, well now Astro is somebody who is like a mascot for a PlayStation because that's the first thing that they experienced
Right,
on the
speedrunning
PS5.
community went crazy with that.
Bro, love doing that the speed runs on that shit. That shit was hard, but it's like, okay, we need more Astro. Yeah, bring Sackboy into the mix because Little Big Planet, really big thing. A lot of people want that shit to return.
Right.
Even though we didn't have like 4. I'm not really an advocate of having more than 3 games. But that's just because I want people to stay creative, and that's
Right.
not like that's neither a good or a bad thing. They keep running
Yeah,
with some shit.
but
That's
see
fine,
now,
but
I hear you with that, but in this time,
because how many Last of Us are we gonna get?
They're
Bro?
gonna
Realistically,
keep.
come on.
Be honest with you, but I think they're probably gonna make one more. They're probably gonna make a part 3, and that will be
I
it.
know, but it's like we just got. I can't believe that we got The Last of Us 2 and a remake announced in the exact same year.
I agree.
That's so ridiculous to me. So it's just like, and that's why I'm saying I know they're leaning too heavily into the mascots that we have now because they refuse to put development into like other aspects.
Right.
I need them to have a return to form. I
Bro,
need them to remember that you have icons outside of the people in the PS4 to PS5 generation.
But I really think that the whole problem with that is that fucking they need to have, because the what's his name, Jim Ryan, he's leaving, right? Thank God.
Yeah.
He's leaving. So I hope they replace him with someone from Japanland.
Eh?
I would rather, because I think that if they move the headquarters back to Japan, bro, we'll start getting a lot more creativity from PlayStation as of right now.
Yeah, and as soon as he gets, I mean, I'm not saying that he's the reason. I don't know like all of the politics. I'm not there. I don't fucking work there with them.
Right.
But when Japan studios closed, I was like wondering what the hell is
Now,
happening.
I hear you with that, but you got to look at it like this, right? Their games weren't selling. Everybody you'll see on the internet, you're gonna see so many people hyping them up. Their games were great. Yeah, yeah. Okay, where we all at when it was time to buy them?
Yeah,
Why did
and
Gravity
I
Rush
can't be
2
mad
flop
at.
like it did?
And that's
Why
why we
did the
haven't gotten
Last
another Gravity
Guardian flap?
Rush.
Why did the Last Guardian flop like it did?
Flap.
What,
Yeah, I have answers for that.
what is the other game they can look? I can't remember the last 3 games they put out besides Gravity Rush 2 and the Last Guardian.
Yeah, and I
That's what
mean,
I'm
maybe
saying.
it
Like,
wasn't none, and that could
did
be
they
a
make
problem.
Knack?
Knack and Knack 2?
I don't know if they make
I
Knack.
don't know about that one. I could give you a fact check real quick. Let me see if they're. Because, yeah, that's something. Hold on. Oh, it's not letting me do it.
Yeah, they made it.
They did?
Yeah,
Okay,
they made
well,
Knack.
shit.
And guess what? I mean, they made 2 of those, but they both flopped. Well, maybe not Knack 1, but Knack 2, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, brother, like, the people who are praising Japan Studio aren't the people buying the games.
Yeah, they're just doing. They're just saying like, "Hey, this was great, bring it back," and then they spend millions of dollars on making a new game, and we don't get shit.
Right, and they're not getting their money back,
Like
so
they don't
why
get nothing
keep
in
the studio
return.
open?
Yeah, yeah, and they're just gonna keep fumbling and not really fumbling, but it's like, yeah, we've just it's like a bait and switch on the fucking consumer's part,
Right.
almost. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit that they can do with the PlayStation All Stars thing, and I don't know why they won't go in that direction, but like seeing the climate
Well,
of games
for
that came
one,
out like that
they
that
don't
failed,
have a
I would
studio
be
that can make
hesitant.
those games. They don't have a studio that can make those type of games.
I don't believe
Now,
that, bro.
no, they don't. But look, all right, from what I've seen a lot of rumors on Twitter, right? They're just rumors. Obviously, you can't take the shit. You can't take them seriously, right?
Yeah, you gotta take it
But
with a grain of salt. That's just rumors.
another dude that I follow on YouTube, his name is Mystic Ryan, right? Or
Yep.
just Mystic. He does his whole like predictions for like the year, right? For what PlayStation might do. So one of his predictions was that PlayStation might acquire Arc System Works.
Oh.
So if they do that, then they might not even need to make a PlayStation All Stars, but it would be good if they did. But they might even need to do that because they'll have the anime fighter company on lock, right?
Yeah, but
All
the
of
only
their
thing
games
is
are
they're
always
stuck in
good.
their ways. That's the only problem.
Yeah,
Arxis does Arxis things, and they're stuck in their ways.
Arc. I don't think so. What makes you say that?
And well, and even if they did, right? Like even if they did get that company and it was cool, everything was copacetic. There's still not. Again, they make 2D fighters, bro. They don't make fighters like Smash. It's not the same kind of.
It's not the same,
I'm,
right?
I'm sure it's complex, but it's not. I don't want to say that it's easier.
Right. But the reason I brought up Arc System Works, right, was because if they wanted to try to make another PlayStation All Stars, they would at least have a company that's familiar with making fighting games, familiar with making balance. Balance characters, adding them to the game, shit like that.
It would be great. It would be no. It actually would be good because then you at least have a foundation and will have a group of people that have an understanding of this is how you make something fair and balanced. This is how they have a bunch of games in their catalog, so they understand how fighting games work at their core, which is a big plus. If they do acquire them, then yeah, I would say to look out for another PlayStation All Stars. My thing is that it's not the same kind of fighting game.
Right.
I'm sure and maybe on some aspects it's more simple, but I don't think that it's easier.
Right.
Especially because like getting out of your comfort zone. It's like they've made so many 2D fighters, now they got to make an arena fighter. Well, it's not really an arena fighter, but whatever kind of fighter Smash is.
Right.
They have to remove themselves from the mindset they currently have to work on that shit.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it would be an overall good thing. I just do still think it would be a challenge, but obviously we'd be one step closer to getting another PlayStation All Stars,
Right, right.
which would be great.
Um, with that, right? It would be a kind of like a challenge, right? In order for them to make like a Smash Bros type of game, right? But
Hmm.
I think they can do it mainly because they made fighters, right? Now, fighters
Hmm.
are still a 2D fighter, right? But it
Hmm.
plays like MVC3. Well, I ain't gonna say it plays like it, but it's close enough to MVC3 to where it could be considered like kind of a different experience from what they've normally been making. And I think they could do the same thing with Smash
Hmm.
when it comes not Smash when it comes to PlayStation All Stars, right?
Yeah.
So all it really takes is for them to have a obviously have the budget for it, and then give them enough time to come up with the systems, get all that shit situated. I remember a while back, I follow like I don't want to say like a leaker. He's not a leaker, but like he keeps up with like he has like his own plugs into PlayStation, right? To see
Yeah,
like
he
what they
has
kind of got
a
planned.
couple people. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, the dude was saying that they had planned for a PlayStation All Stars, but it fell through because the company wanted to have they had like plans for like maybe I think 60 characters, right? And
It's a
they didn't
lot.
have but they didn't
Damn.
have the budget for to license all those characters,
Damn.
you know?
That's
Yeah,
that's
so
disheartening.
yeah, I know it's like
The
it hurts.
studio
I
didn't have
like
the money?
it was that the studio didn't or PlayStation just didn't want to pay that much for all those characters. So I think
Okay, yeah.
and they can't because of that they
Because that's
canceled
a
it.
gamble, and I
Yeah,
understand it's like,
and
well,
I
shit, how
think they
long is it?
really
When?
folded by like they canceling like by canceling it they folded hard because they could
Yeah.
have at least scaled that back. The original PlayStation All Stars only had like maybe like 20
Yeah,
20
and I was
something
gonna say
characters.
that's it's not like an all or nothing kind of situation.
Right,
Like
right,
realistically, this is gaming in 2024. All we have to do is put out the shit, half the roster, right? Just cut the roster in half. 30 characters when it come out. You get people excited that we got a new PlayStation All Stars, and then see how it does on release and start rolling the DLC out as accordingly. Just start rolling the DLC
right,
out
right,
accordingly, and then you will end up with a 60 character roster as
right,
opposed to
right.
like front loading them and giving it all the money and everything you need up front.
Right.
And I know that's how a lot of people operate now, so I'm not sure where that mentality came from. It's just like we could have started off with a 30 character roster and
Yeah,
ended up at 60.
yeah, it could have easily started off with a 30 character roster, right? Just at least have more than the original one did. Like a 30 40 character roster, bro. That would have been perfect to start off, and then you could have had like 10 DLC characters, right? The 10
Yeah,
or at least 8, just for the first game, just to see how it's
yeah.
gonna work out. And then they can use those weak ass data plays to announce those DLC characters.
The same way that fucking yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
the same
really
way,
just a
yeah,
copy and paste
of
that
Nintendo,
Nintendo
yeah,
did. Yeah, they were just like, hey, we're having a whole state of not a state of play, because
a
they
whole
didn't call it
direct,
that. A
yeah,
Nintendo Direct. Yeah, we're having a whole Nintendo Direct based off the new characters for Smash. We're gonna show you their whole movesets. This is everybody that's coming. Here's the trailer. Blah blah blah. Release date. All that.
right,
That like the blueprint was right there, and they didn't have to go all in if they didn't want to. I do
right,
think, like you said, that was just a that was ridiculous.
yeah.
That's a super L just canceling the entire thing.
Yeah, I think they kind of got nervous. It might have been the developers being too ambitious, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, they folded
And
by
also,
not
it's
even
probably
taking a
a
chance
sign
in
of the
that.
times too.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I
because
was gonna
like
say, but that's
you
just the
gotta
new Sony.
remember, you gotta remember, not even just like the new Sony. It was probably when they were formulating this idea,
Yeah,
the thing that was at the forefront of everybody's mind. If I'm assuming that this was probably like in the last couple of years, last 3-4 years,
yeah,
that the forefront of everybody's mind was battle royale. It didn't matter what company. It didn't matter, uh, how your game even functions. It was like battle pass, battle royale. That's what everybody was thinking.
right, right.
This is the cash cow right now in gaming. Either get with it or get lost kind of shit.
Mm,
So that's probably. I know for a fact that that had something, and maybe I'm going out on a limb and saying for a fact, but I know for a fact that had something to do with it.
ah,
It
I
had something to do with it. There's no way, because like, well, why would we put all this R&D into this when we can go with a very popular, tried and true formula of um, battle royale, battle pass
See,
type shit.
now the thing about that is that I don't really agree that their focus would have been more like on a battle royale, right? Because if that was the case, they would have done that already.
But
They
it's
haven't
not
done
like
that at
they're
all.
not doing it. It's not like they're not doing it though.
I mean, we
I
don't
know
know
you
what they're doing.
remember. We do know what they're doing,
What
bro.
happened?
They told motherfuckers about the 10
Yeah, yeah,
games
yeah.
as a
Yeah,
service game.
but what happened with that?
No, you're right, and it fell through. But the thing is, they didn't stop it. It's just
Yeah.
like, okay, we're not gonna do 10. We'll do 5.
Well,
They didn't
but look,
stop it.
but
It's still
even-
going through.
But
Imagine,
even
bro,
with that,
but
that
we're
doesn't
talking
guarantee.
about-
But that doesn't guarantee they're going to be battle royales. There's just going to be live service games. Like you were right
Okay,
about the battle
let's
pass
be
thing.
completely real, bro.
Right.
Let's be 100% real. It's 2024. Everyone knows, even people who don't fucking develop games, battle passes and battle royales is what makes money. They cut it from 10 to 5. I'm willing to bet at least 2 of those are going to be battle royales that also have battle passes in them.
Well, no, brother. I think the Last of Us game was supposed to have a battle royale in it. The
That
the,
proves my
the,
point.
the multiplayer game. I think that was supposed to have a battle royale in it, but it fell through.
It fell through. That's not saying that the other ones will.
That's true.
And
that's
that
true.
only fell through because the studio was like, bro, this is not us. Like, this isn't what we want to do. Am I correct? Or, like...
Well, no,
I
I think they wanted to do that. That was supposed to, like, that was factions. That was supposed to be factions. So they wanted to do that.
Okay,
But it was
well, I'm
just,
not too sure what happened.
I guess, like what with that studio, it was really ambitious, and then it just didn't work out in the end. So,
Well, yeah,
with
that's just unfortunate.
yeah, it's just unfortunate. It happened, I guess. But they're doing is working out because they know everybody who buys the game knows they're getting a complete game that's not gonna have any DLC bullshit in it. They need to follow.
I'm not arguing with that.
They need to follow what Nintendo is doing when it comes to that type of shit. Which is why
I
I'm saying they
completely
shouldn't
agree.
put a
But
battle
I'm just
pass in.
saying that I know better. I know better. I know what year it
and I
is,
understand
and
that.
that's not gonna happen.
And
That
I
is so unrealistic.
I understand
and
that,
it's sad that it's unrealistic, but that's the truth of the matter.
And I understand that, but the thing about the game is it doesn't need to be some super high budget game with super high graphics. I mean, they don't have to put that much money into it. It could be a low budget priority game.
They won't
and
do that
still
though.
but
I have to disagree
I
there.
think
They
will
will not do that. No, they won't.
Well, maybe not the
Because
current
if they come
PlayStation.
out with PlayStation All Stars, bro, I want you to understand when you load up any game that has PlayStation Studios on the front of that shit, bro, that's a seal of approval for quality. They are not
Okay,
half-assing anything, and another
that
PlayStation
doesn't
All Stars
mean-
will be a PlayStation Studio exclusive
that
game.
doesn't mean that the game doesn't have to be a quality game. It just means it doesn't have to be super high budget. It doesn't have to be.
What
High
PlayStation-
budget does not
I'm just asking
mean
you.
high quality does not mean high budget. It just means
No,
it's a
that's
good
not.
product.
Because if you give it to the right people, they can make it happen with little to no money.
That's what
but
I'm saying.
asking you, how many titles can you name off the top of your head where it didn't cost them a lot of money, but we still got the game and PlayStation published it. If you see PlayStation Studios on the front of anything, bro, it's not just a okay game. I don't know. It's just that's the way I view it.
But
it's not
but
anything
you
that's
gotta
just
look at it
okay.
like this, right? The only reason it's happened like that recently is because PlayStation has been so hell-bent on sticking to the third-person cinematic experience. They don't do other types of games like that. When was the last time they put out a different type of game like that?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this, nigga. Astro's Playroom wasn't even bad. Astro's Playroom
But
was so goddamn polished. I
but
genuinely felt like I was playing another
But that's
Little
what
Big
I'm
Planet.
saying, though. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't happen. I mean, now, granted, they didn't make any money with that game because it's literally just,
No, because they
came
preloaded
free.
it. Yeah, it's free on the thing. But do you think that how much did it cost to make that game?
Bro, I don't think it should cost a lot.
Let's check it.
Yeah, I don't think that was a super high budget game. That was just a decently budgeted game.
Trying to see shit. Blah blah blah.
Some people in here thinking they literally spent $500K on it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm probably looking at the same shit you're looking at that said anywhere from $500K to $1 million.
Yep.
That's bro, $1 million?
Bro, that's not a high budget game if you compare it to everything else.
Okay, but like if you're comparing it to like a Destiny, of course it's $100 million game. But then again, like that's also a game that's supposed to run for 10 years.
And I understand that, but I'm
Most
saying
games don't
I'm
cost that
not
much.
looking at it like like fucking Bungie or something like
So
that.
what? But
I'm
but when
looking
we
at it
look at
like
it,
look at every other game they've made, right? That's had that PlayStation Studios seal of quality on it. They've all been the same type of game, right? Third person
absolutely.
cinematic experience type of game, right? That's why I'm saying you can't really say that when you can't apply what you see with that to this game because it's
I
going to
would
be a
beg to
lower
differ.
budget game.
But that's what I'm saying. What is low budget in gaming in 2024 when everything is so fucking expensive?
But no, I'm saying when I say low budget, I mean like when it comes to how much they'll spend on it.
And
I
that's what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
that's what
What
I'm
do you
saying.
think is low? But what is
I
a
don't
middle
think,
of the road game?
bro. I don't think they're gonna need to spend fucking 500 million on a PlayStation All Stars. I don't think they will.
No, they don't need to.
That's
Which
what
would
I'm
then
saying.
I don't think that no, you're right. I don't think that they need to. And I'm not saying that they will, but it's just like it's likely that they'll spend more on it than they probably should, as opposed to because like I don't know how much it costs to develop Smash Ultimate, but I would assume if it says PlayStation Studios on the front of that shit, that they're going to spend at least what Smash spent to make their shit, or what Nintendo spent to make Smash, if not
And
a little
okay,
bit more.
but that just goes back to what I'm saying, bro. That's actually just helping what I'm saying. They don't need this like with how much Nintendo spent on that game, right? Nintendo makes way more money than that, right? But
Yeah, they
I
made a lot
guarantee
more
you,
money than that shit.
they're not putting anywhere near the amount of money PlayStation's putting into their normal games.
No,
It would never cost
because
that much,
graphically
and that's what I'm
it
saying.
doesn't even demand that much.
That's literally what I've been saying. It's not gonna be some super high budget, super graphically amazing ass game. It's gonna be like it's gonna look like Smash Ultimate, but just a little bit better.
Yeah, and then like I'm saying, think about the other shit too that they put money into that just didn't even flourish into anything.
Like what?
It didn't. Bruh, matter of fact, perfect example. What's that shit that we had for free that was supposed to be like, oh, what's that goddamn racing game? What is that racing game? Destruction All Stars. There you go.
Mm-mm-mm.
Like, what is that?
Now with Destruction All Stars, you gotta look at the market for that.
I
Nobody.
know, I understand. I understand. Nobody was asking. Nobody was asking for another one of whatever the original was.
No. But look. Like the market for that game is like it's practically non-existent, right? Nigga, nobody was like you just said, nobody was asking for that.
Nobody's asking
I
for
think
it.
they really overestimated how many people wanted that type of game,
But what I'm saying
even
is,
if it was
and I
for
don't know
free.
where they would even have gotten that notion from. First of all, the game was free. There's a free game that we didn't have to pay any money for, and that game looks better than so much shit that other studios have put out, and that was some throwaway shit. That was Sony's throwaway shit. You know how the reflections and all that shit, the 4K 60 frames that game had, bro. That was a PlayStation throwaway.
I
If that's a
don't.
fucking throwaway, then what? Like, bro, if we got Foam Stars. I know for a fact when Foam Stars come out, as many people as, oh, I would love to have a PlayStation Splatoon, blah, blah, blah. When Foam Stars comes out, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, the shit's
Now,
going to flop. It's going to flop.
Foam
But we
Stars.
all see how polished and pretty that fucking game is. 4K 60 frames, reflections on everything. I would go as far as to say, but I don't know for sure. But I would go as far as to say that there is a tad bit, maybe a lower version of ray tracing in that game with the reflections that I was seeing during gameplay. And it's like, once again, that's a throwaway PlayStation game.
Now look, PlayStation's not making that game. They're just publishing it. That doesn't mean they're making it.
It doesn't have the
Now,
PlayStation Studios logo on it.
no, they're not making it.
I can't remember because the beta was
They're,
so long ago.
no, they're not making that game. Um, um, as for the as for Destruction All Stars, right? I said earlier, I think they really overestimated how many people want that game, even if it was just like a kind of like a throwaway game. I really doubt that they got even the same amount of people even like into that type of shit, you know. So I just don't think that you can really apply to you can really apply like those like that standard to that type of game because if obviously right if they drop a PlayStation All Stars right that shit's gonna pull in way more players than fucking Destruction All Stars did right.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not even gonna be a debate.
I have another game to prove my point.
Right,
But
right. Yeah, a little
I
bit.
don't want to beat the fucking dead horse. But Forspoken, that's a PlayStation game.
That's not a PlayStation
That
game.
it is.
That's Square Enix.
That's a PlayStation game.
That's Square Enix's
Do it got
game.
the seal on it?
No. That's Square
Bullshit.
Enix's game.
Hell no.
Bro, Square Enix made that game. Square Enix made that game, and it was so bad the studio got shut down.
That's tough, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to the people.
What you mean don't do that? That's the truth.
No,
Don't
I'm
tell
not
the
telling you. I'm
truth.
just saying. Don't do that to the people.
The shit was so garbage. The studio got shut down. That's the truth.
That's terrible, bro. God damn. Woo. Well, I guess that didn't prove my fucking point. I don't know, bro.
But
I don't know. I would like to assume that anything that PlayStation Studios makes, that they're gonna, it's just gonna be, you know, it has to be at least a certain level. They're not gonna put it out without it.
no, of course. Like they're always gonna put out a quality game. But like I was saying, high budget doesn't mean high quality. You know, they could put out a low to medium budget game and still have it be really good because they have talented people.
The talent, yeah.
Bro, none of their studios ever make a really bad fucking buggy game, right? It never happens.
Yeah, it's not no Fallout 76.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. They're not. It's still gonna be a quality game. You know, it's just not gonna be super like fucking HD, fucking hyper realism. Like it's not gonna be all that. It's gonna be like a smaller.
And it doesn't need to
budget
be
game.
because then a lot of the
That's what I'm
characters
saying.
won't
It doesn't
even
need
work.
to be. Exactly.
The characters won't even work in that kind of
Motherfucker,
environment.
they had Isaac Clarke in the game in the last game, bro. They had a Dead Space dude in the last game, so they can make it work. All right. Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap this shit up right now. I wanted to try to get into another topic, but we can save that
Which
for
was
another
what?
day. It was gonna be more about if when it comes to like the publisher and developer type of thing, right? Is it really always on the publisher, or are some developers really just shit at making games?
I mean, I really feel like a lot of.
Hold on.
I can just sum this up real quick.
We can save that up. We can save that up.
We can.
You can try to.
But I'm gonna just give my
sum
initial
it up.
thoughts right now.
Right.
I'll
You
give
can
my
sum it
initial
up,
thoughts
but
right
it's a
now.
lot more in depth than that.
Yeah, no, but I will say that the most shit, man, you give it's on some Batman shit. Really, you give any studio that has any fucking smidget of talent, bro, you give them enough time, and they'll present you with a good game. But when publishers and investors want them, yeah, man,
I don't know because
well, at least that's how I feel. When you give motherfuckers enough time with a game, they'll present you with at least a decent game. I'm not saying it's about to be a AAA fucking blowout, but it will at least be decent. It won't come out broken and buggy like on some Fallout 76 shit.
I don't know,
if you
bro.
give decent developers enough time.
I don't know, bro, because didn't Starfield already have plenty of time under its belt?
Who said, bro? I
How
said
long
decent
they been-
developers. Xbox don't have no good devs. What are you talking about?
Well, I was just really saying like it's Bethesda, not really just like an Xbox thing, but
And that's terrible. That's
Right,
fucking
you're
Bethesda.
right.
They suck.
that is
Everyone knows they
Bethesda.
suck.
You're right.
That's what I'm saying. God damn.
You're right.
Yeah, no, you give a decent group of developers enough time, they will give you a decent game.
Okay.
A
Decent game. Okay.
Yeah, a decent. I'm not saying, like I said, it's not finna be no blowouts, but you can't fucking rush them. I do genuinely believe that it's the publishers and more or less like going to the higher like their higher ups, because the publishers have investors,
Right.
and the investors want a return on their investments. Like, oh, you pitched me this game because somebody you got that you employ says they have this great idea, they're gonna make X amount of money. They give you this money, and they're like, I want to see a return on investment in 4 years. It's just like, well, fuck, development takes longer than that, and this and that and that and this, and these millionaires that are giving this money up so they can make this game want their fucking money back. That's literally all it boils down to. They want their goddamn money back, and then you get the Russian people, and you get a shit game. The game comes out, the investors take all the initial money back, because that's the whole reason why they invested, so that they can make some money off of it.
Right, right.
And then the fucking the studio loses money, the devs don't get paid what they're supposed to get paid, people quit, there's layoffs, it's a whole bunch of shit, bro.
Right.
I genuinely do think it's the publishers, because I mean, greed is
Now-
like fucking.
Now, I'm not saying that
That's
is it
greed.
always just the publishers, or is it like it's like always 100% one or the other. I'm saying that sometimes they have sometimes developers have that much time and still put out a shit game.
That's not very often.
It's
That's
not very often, but
very
it still
often.
happens enough.
But it doesn't. It happens so sparsely that it leads me to believe that I'm correct in my assumption. It's like
look,
if you
look.
give most people, right? You
Right,
can't
right.
account for everybody.
Right.
Everything's gonna be nothing's
You're
black and white.
generalizing.
And yeah, but like when you talk about the majority of people, it's like, bro, they'll be okay if you give them enough time.
All right, I hear you. We'll come back to this in the next one. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Copy.
Cause I got a lot to say about
Hey,
that shit.
I
They
got a lot
fucking
to
up
say
the
about that
industry.
shit too.
They fucking up the industry, man.
Yep. All right then.
But all right, bro.
Yep.
It's been a good one.